mechanism of Indian monsoon. Please open atlas. Okay, so observe Indian Ocean part towards the eastern side of Africa. You will find Mascarene Islands, Mascarene high pressure. Okay, observe Mascarene Islands in the southern Indian Ocean in the world map. Can you observe the Mascarene Islands over there? No? Okay. So look into Madagascar region then. Okay. In what latitude it is present? Around? Okay. So so when you will be observing the Indian monsoon? When you have southwest trade winds coming. Okay. This is the situation. Can you see, by the way? Is it so smaller? No. So, or you can open your books as well. Look into the June diagram. Okay. The summer solstice in northern hemisphere. Okay. So you will be observing southeast trade winds in the southern hemisphere part between 0 degree to 23.5 degree. Okay, southeast trade winds moving, and we have subtropical high pressure zone over there. Agreed? Then coming to the northern hemisphere, in the Tropic of Cancer we have ITCZ, intertropical convergence zone. So this will be your ITCZ. Okay, when intertropical convergence zone is here, what happens? You will observe southwest trade winds coming, and this is your equator. Okay, so this is your equator, this is Africa, and we have southeast trade winds blowing here. Okay, so near Madagascar we have something called Mascarene Islands. Okay, near Mascarene Islands you will have high pressure. Near Mascarene Islands you will have high pressure, which is nothing but the subtropical high pressure zone itself I am talking about. Are you understanding it? You have high pressure here, and in this particular part you will observe through India you have 23.5 degree north latitude, that is Tropic of Cancer, and here is the place where you have intertropical convergence zone. Okay, do not imagine ITCZ being present only in 23.5 degrees. It will be like a belt, isn't it? So 5 degree above and 5 degree below, it will be like a belt. So the thing here is that Indian monsoon can be explained with the help of the high pressure and low pressure belts on the 8 parts of the equator. So what actually people say that initially when it comes to Indian monsoon, every time in June or in the time of June, July and September or those times, India used to get a good amount of rainfall. Okay, all the western Ghats on the areas used to get wet. Wet matlab, receiving more rainfall. So they started telling that it was because of the differences in the land and sea temperatures. Okay, so they said that during June month it will be summer, so obviously ITCZ moves on the land, and because land is hotter there will be low pressure. Because water is not so hotter as land, there will be high pressure in water, sea breeze, which will bring, what do you say, the moisture, and it will be shedding rainfall. That's how people used to explain the reason behind Indian monsoon. Okay. But later, when they did analysis regarding certain, planetary wind systems, their changes and all, they found that because of the pressure gradient between Mascarin Islands and the Tibetan Plateau, the winds were drifting towards India. Why Tibetan Plateau? What is the definition of a plateau? An elevated flat surface. So Tibetan Plateau is at a higher elevation. So it will receive huge lot of temperature during the summer solstice period. Although ITCZ is lying on the tropic of Cancer, Tibet will experience extremely high temperature because of its proximity. Okay. So do not go into the specifics telling that if the height increases, the temperature should decrease. Overall, the surface temperature of Tibet is rising. Okay, that's what you need to understand over there. So what happens is that there will be a low pressure near the Indian subcontinent or above Indian subcontinent. Okay, from ITCZ to Tibet region, and you will have high pressure near the Mascarin Islands. Okay, so we see that the mechanism of Indian monsoon can be explained with the help of Mascarin high pressure and Tibetan low pressure. Okay. So the low pressure caused because of the shift in ITCZ. So always wind starts blowing from high pressure to low pressure. So southeast went till equator. Because it is still having low pressure beyond, it will be drifting towards northern hemisphere and it will turn right in the northern hemisphere, turning into southwest trade winds. And this southwest trade winds will carry all the moisture towards the Indian subcontinent, shedding the rain over there. Clear everyone? You have taken the heading, mechanism of Indian monsoon. Now please write. Initially Indian monsoon was explained as a phenomena of temperature difference between land and water. During summer, the sea breeze gives rainfall, and during winter, land breeze doesn't provide rainfall. Okay. Under that, and a new sentence, please write. Recently, geographers have found that there are several factors that affects Indian monsoon. There are several factors that affects Indian monsoon. Please underline that, several factors. And under that, please write Tibetan low pressure, Mascarin high pressure, Tibetan low pressure, Mascarin high pressure. Third, subtropical westerly jet stream, then tropical easterly jet stream. Okay, so there are several factors. Okay, jet stream means, as of now, just remember, there are high speed winds which will blow. It means jet stream will obstruct the monsoon winds. So what happens is that in India we have Himalayas over here, Agreed? And we have the Ganga plain below this. Okay. At that particular region, we have subtropical, the zone, westerly, means from west to east they are moving, jet streams. Subtropical westerly jet streams generally blow in that particular part in that period. So what happens is that when monsoon enters Indian subcontinent, instead of it crossing India and going, forward, it actually turns and sheds rainfall all throughout the northern plains. Getting it? All throughout the northern plains it will shed the rainfall, it will end up, in Meghalaya region. Because subtropical jet streams were hindering that. They're stopping those monsoon winds not to escape. Of course, the hefty Himalayas as well is one of the reason. So Himalayas have huge lot of, importance. It will protect us from the cold winds coming from the northern part. It will also protect monsoon to not to escape from the Indian subcontinent. Okay. Then during the same period, we'll have the polar easterly jet streams as well, which we'll talk about. So these jet streams, Tibetan low pressure, masculine high pressure, these are all, are several factors responsible for Indian monsoon. We'll talk each of them in a detailed manner now. Okay. Now put aside heading Tibetan low pressure. Tibetan low pressure. During summer season, insolation is vertical in the tropical regions. Insolation is vertical in tropical regions. Due to this, the Tibetan plateau, which is at a height of 4 kilometers, the Tibetan plateau, which is at a height of 4 kilometers and spreaded over 4,000 square kilometers will absorb highest insolation. And it would be warmest, the warmest region compared to the other regions around. As highest temperature is present near the Tibetan plateau, we observe ITCZ shifting till Tibet plateau or Tibetan plateau. Did you understand everything what you have written? Generally in summer, tropical region should receive more insolation. But when it comes to Tibet, which is at 4 kilometer height and 4,000 square kilometers, it's a bigger length, isn't it? So the altitude higher, the spread is higher. So that's what is the reason Tibet will receive more insolation, and the temperature in the Tibetan plateau will increase more compared to the other regions. Okay, because the other regions like Himalayas and all, they are all snow covered. Okay, so Tibet will have high temperature. And when it comes to ITCZ shifting, it will not only shift till the Tropic of Cancer, you observe a low pressure condition, that means a shift of ITCZ till Tibetan plateau because of the spread and altitude of the Tibet region. So when compared to the all regions over there, you observe a low pressure situation in Tibet. Okay, so it is clearly evident, right? When ITCZ is present means simply there you need not to again write that there is low pressure here. Agreed? So ITCZ shifts till Tibetan plateau. Okay, then please write Mascarene Islands high pressure, or you can simply write Mascarene high pressure. mascarene high pressure. Okay. Within South Indian Ocean, closer to Mascarene Islands, beside it please write near Madagascar, Mascarene Islands near Madagascar, we observe subtropical high pressure belt. We observe subtropical high pressure belts. Okay. Therefore, wind moves from Mascarene high pressure. Therefore, wind moves from Mascarene high pressure to Tibetan low pressure. Wind blows from Mascarene high pressure to Tibetan low pressure. During this situation, the southeast trade winds will cross the equator. The southeast trade winds will cross the equator, enters into northern hemisphere and becomes southwest trade winds. Southeast trade winds will become southwest trade winds. Okay. Under that please write southwest trade winds enter into India. Southwest trade winds enters India and becomes onshore winds for the western coast of India, and they'll become onshore winds for the western coast of India and provide monsoon rainfall. Please draw the diagram. You can just draw this southern part of India. Okay, Mascarene Island, southern part of India. Whole diagram. You can just write India over there, Mascarene Islands. You need to just show the shift of southwest to southeast. Please quickly. So what are the four factors we have seen responsible for Indian monsoon? Tibetan low pressure, Mascarene high pressure, jet streams. Two types of jet streams. So now we'll talk some aspects related to jet streams. What is a jet stream? What are the characteristics? Characteristics means the features, the character of the jet stream. How will they move? How are they present? And what is the direction of their movement and all. Okay. Then we'll come into the role of the jet streams within the Indian monsoon. Okay. Getting it? So, as we have not covered jet streams part, we now start from the initial point of jet streams and we'll talk about everything. But when a question regarding Indian monsoon is asked, you'll directly talk about Tibetan low pressure, the Mascarene high pressure, subtropical westerly jet stream and tropical easterly jet streams. Okay. Again, you need not to discuss the definition of jet stream characteristics and all. In the notes, it will be in such manner. Hope you are getting it.